ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Back here where we need ya. Yeah, we tease him a lot, cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We always could spot a friend. Welcome back. And I smile when I think how you must have been. And I know what a scene you were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you.
All right, good morning, City Call. It's Mr. Clouder here with your morning announcements for the day. Today is Monday, March 22nd, 2021, and today is a cycle day 4. Before we get started with our announcements, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So for weather today, let's send it over to Mr. Radar Reininger filling in for Hurricane Payne. Mr. Reininger, take it away.
Morning, City Cole. This is Mr. Reininger filling in for Mr. Payne. Our weather for Monday, March 22nd, we're looking for mainly sunny skies today with a high of 62 degrees. This week we're looking to warm up, which is really good news. Overnight temperature with a low about 39 degrees, mostly clear though, with a slight breeze. We're so excited to have everyone back today. Have a great first day back at CE Cole.
All right, Mr. Reininger, thanks for that awesome weather report. I don't know, I like the name, Mr. Radar Reininger. Anybody who's doing the weather, you gotta have a weather-related nickname. So, hey, boys and girls, I'm happy to be back again doing the announcements. I really wanted to take some time today to focus on some things that, I don't know, maybe we haven't talked about as much recently, but I think now more than ever is an important time to talk about it. So, today is the first day where some students are returning back to school, and as some of you may know, we're going to be looking into spring break next week, and after that, some of you that have decided to return to in-person instruction are going to be coming back in. But regardless of whether you're going to be coming into our buildings for instruction or still continuing to remain virtual, it's important to touch base on some coping skills and some things we could do to help assist ourselves if we're feeling stressed out, anxious, worried, or concerned about maybe any of the things that are going on in regards to our schooling. So I'm going to walk us through 3 or 4 things that we can keep in the back of our mind that might help us out and help the staff that is going to be working with you to help assist any needs that you might have. So I have a couple different coping skills that we're going to talk about today. We'll practice here on camera, and I hope you find some use out of them and maybe give them a try yourself if you find that need. And I'm going to give you guys a little hint too. You don't have to be stressed out or worried in order to use some of these things. Sometimes even when things are going the best, doing something to help maintain your mental and your physical health is only going to help to benefit you. So, first thing that we're going to do, and this is a little bit more of something that you might have to work on with your social skills, and that is using I statements to express how we're feeling emotionally. Boys and girls, it is not always easy to talk about our emotions and be truthful about how we're thinking or feeling. Sometimes we might not necessarily know what might be making us feel worried or anxious or concerned. But the best we can do to put words to those things will help your teachers, your counselors, your principals, and everybody that's working with you in your schooling to help support your needs. So even something as simple as saying, you know, Mr. K, I'm a little bit worried about this math test because I have a hard time with math. That is something that will help anybody who works with you so much because you are giving them that information from your mouth itself saying, Mr. K, here's what I might need help with. So one thing that you might start to practice is using an I statement, starting with I feel, and then pick any of those emotions. I feel happy that Mr. K is doing the announcements again. I feel worried that Mr. K is doing the announcements again. They're going to be 35 minutes long, right? So using an I statement and expressing your emotions is going to allow your teachers, your classmates, and anybody working with you to help understand what we might need to do to assist and make you feel comfortable and ready to be the most successful student that you can be. So using iMessages and putting our emotions into words is the first step I want to share. I got my sign over there, so I'm going to make sure I don't miss out any of them. All right. Next thing I would say is, and I know when we do this in my guidance class, a lot of students are like, this doesn't work. I beg to differ. Deep breaths. So I'm going to give you a couple coping skills that we can use while we're sitting at our desk. I know most of you, when we talk about this, say, I can watch TV, I like to watch YouTube, I like to play video games. It might not always be something that you would have available to help you if you need that strategy to help you calm down or to help support you. So I want to try and give us some practical tips and things that we can use without having to have a TV handy, a video game console handy, a phone, or anything like that. So we're going to do some things that we can just use our own minds and our own bodies in order to accomplish. So deep breaths. Mr. K is a big proponent of deep breaths. That is a coping skill I even use myself. I'm a lot older than you boys and girls, and it just goes to show you that just because we're out of school or we're outside of the school setting, we could still use these strategies to help us when the need is there. So how I practice deep breaths is I take a big deep breath in through my nose, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, and then breathe out through your mouth and breathe all that air out. So I'll do it one more time. What you'll find, boys and girls, is if you do that a number of times in a row, no matter how upset, how concerned, how worried you are, that breathing process actually tricks your brain and your body into calming down. So if you ever feel like your heart beats really fast, your mind is racing 1,000,000 miles an hour, if you do those things a couple times in a row, it is actually a biological reaction that tricks your body into calming itself down. So 2 other ways that you can think about this is the blowing bubbles method. So if you have a hard time, remember, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, you can always act like you are blowing bubbles through a bubble wand. So you breathe in. Imagine you're holding a little bubble wand up. And you're blowing the bubbles out. I actually don't have bubbles to blow here. You're going to have to use your imagination on this one, kids. So you can use the blowing bubbles method. Or I particularly like this one. It's called smell the pizza. So if you've ever gone into a pizza shop before you get in there and you're like, everything smells so good, I want every slice of pizza in here, you can imagine that a fresh hot pizza just came right out of the oven. It's really hot still, so you don't want to put it in your mouth or you're going to have that like cheese volcano where you burn your mouth and you're like, no, I can't eat the pizza now. So you're going to imagine like you are smelling that fresh pizza that just came out of the oven. Nice big one. But then you realize that it's still hot, you don't want to eat it all yet, so you're going to blow on it to cool it off. It's the same process, boys and girls. So as long as you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, doing that over and over in a row is going to help you to relax and calm down, maybe de-stress on any of those things that are making you feel that way. And the last one that I'm going to share today is yoga poses. If you've had guidance with Mrs. Votasic, Mrs. Siegfried, or Mr. K, you know that we have done some guidance classes focusing on yoga poses because yoga and exercise, getting your body moving, is proven to help with levels of stress and to help support not only our physical health, but our mental health as well too. Remember, they're equally as important. So, now, when we say yoga moves, if you're feeling stressed out in the middle of the math test, you might not be doing like tree moves or anything like that in the middle. Mr. K is not going to stand there in math test and do the tree shape because people are going to be like, why is Mr. K balancing on one leg in the middle of the classroom? So I'm going to share with you 2 really easy tips that you could do while you're even just sitting at your desk. You're sitting at a desk at home. And the first one is we're going to take one of our hands, and we're going to make like C shapes out of both of our hands. We're going to take one hand and put it on top, and one hand and put it on bottom like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to lock our fingers like that. And we are going to Take deep breaths in. And while we're doing that, we're going to put a little pressure on our hands and we're going to try and pull them apart. Now, you have to be careful with this one because you don't want to pull so hard and then you do the bird wing out and you're flapping your wings and stuff. No, you don't want to do that, right? You want to just put enough pressure to feel some tension. And what you're going to do is you're going to feel some pressure here. You're going to feel some pressure here. You might feel them up in your biceps. But what that causes is, given that some of your muscle movements, it's going to start to relax some of those maybe nervous feelings that you might have. So it's very easy. You can switch your hands from one on top to the bottom, and you can even do this under your desk. I do this while I'm teaching class sometimes to relieve if I'm a little worried about how this lesson is going to go or things along that line. So very easy to do, and it won't draw any attention to you. The next one I like to do, and you can do this standing up, you can do it sitting down, but I like to flex my muscles a lot. So sometimes even just taking your fists and balling them in, it's going to work some of your muscles in your forearms. And you can even do the same thing with your legs. So if you have your feet planted, your calf muscles right down here below your knee, if you kind of tense them and let them go, what that's going to do is it's going to kind of work some of those things out. It's going to focus your mind on what you're doing with your legs or your arms. So, boys and girls, I just wanted to share a few tips on some things that we can do to help manage our stress levels. It happens, boys and girls. We're all human beings, right? We all have our good days and we all have our days where we need a little bit more help. So it is okay to be stressed or have anxious thoughts or feelings. The important thing is we figure out what we can do to help ourselves out during those times, and we support each other. You know, we're all a family here at Cole, and the most important thing we can do is work with each other and help each other out to be the most successful students and the most successful people we can be. So that's your morning announcements for today's guys. I hope everybody has an awesome day, has a great start to the week, and I'll look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care, everybody.